Okay, so everybody's promising AI riches and saying you can make money with this, and I see this all the time. You're making $10,000 with Claude AI. So let's talk a little bit about what actually is going on right now. And also what businesses are spending on AI. So there's a big difference between the entrepreneur that's trying to make money off of AI and the business. So are businesses spending the same thing that the gurus are telling you are working with AI? Let's go ahead and unpack this and make sure by the end of this video that you understand what's actually working and what can work for you and how to come at it from a conceptual framework. And this is for people who, for example, are afraid that they will lose their job, like me, for example, someone who has lost their job for AI. And in the marketing world, people now, instead of buying a website, they might think, oh, hey, I can just have ChatGPT make it, or I don't need a copywriter, I don't really need a layout. I actually had my AI do my campaign planning, and I sent it some of my analysis for my company, and it told me how I can make money off of AI. And these are things that are popping up every day. Oh yeah, I had someone else tell me this. So how do you actually use AI for business, right? Because business is the same whether you're an entrepreneur or an actual business. It starts by looking at what people are using AI for and what they're spending money on and developing. And so that's what we're going to be doing throughout this channel. We're going to be following the money when it comes to AI. And I'm going to get into this script here for you, and we're going to go through it. And the truth is, I do use AI, and I use it to make scripts, and I use it to make money, but I'm not making money from ChatGPT prompts and selling these things. And so I'm always interested, and I read when people have an applicable pitch that says, hey, this is what we're doing right now to make money, and this is what's working with AI specifically. That's interesting to me. So I always read that, and I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying everyone's selling you scams, but by the end of the video, you'll know what to do more than you did before. So, of course, I do think a lot of them are lies. People that are making $10,000 a month on ChatGPT. These big, bold claims what work on the internet is because you have to click to see if it's real. They've gotten faster. Oh, it took me 2 days to plan this out. Oh, in 5 minutes. Or the newest one was made an app in 2 minutes. You made an app, but who did you sell it to, right? How much money did you make? Is this a viable thing that someone can spend their time to? Otherwise, you're wasting people's time, and that's what people are doing, is they're wasting your time. And I promise I won't be one of those people, but I will try and sell you really good ideas because that's what I'm looking for. And we're curating through a lot of slop and people who just want to get followers, and that's not where we're at. So one, we're going to cover the promises you've been sold, and then we're going to cover where the money is actually flowing, and we'll see if they line up. So the 10 claims being pushed right now from a quick search, and I wish I could get the 100. There's hundreds and thousands of these claims. Real titles, real claims. Earn $10,000 a month with 5 ChatGPT prompts. AI that makes money while you sleep. Passive, hands off. Hire 4 AI agents for $20 a month. They run your business. Quit your job in 90 days with AI. No skills needed, just ChatGPT in a dream. $30,000 a month AI automation agency. Amazing. Faceless AI channels making 40 to 50K a month. Now this is true, but it takes a long time to get there. You can make a lot of money with AI, but that's just it's not in the cards for everybody. $1 million business with 0 employees. That's true. It just depends on what you're working on, right? $4 million a year from a paid AI community. Again, I'm not saying these are complete lies, but they're definitely a long stretch for someone to get started today. The one-person billion-dollar company, and it's not a guru, it's Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei predicting it for this year. Okay, definitely a lot to think about there. There's always a little bit of truth, and that's the point of the internet, is there's a little bit of truth. Make money while you sleep. You still need to manage stuff. Use algorithm changes. It just depends. Quit in 90 days. Months 1 to 3 are pre-revenue. You need to know exactly what you're building and what you're going to earn and be laser focused on that. And you could say, hey, you're a little bit salty, Connor. You lost your job. Okay, whatever. Here are ones that are real. 30K agency. It's just not easy. 2 to 6K a client. Client takes real sales. You got to have a team. Yeah, so a couple people are doing the faceless 40 to 60K a month, and that's interesting to unpack. I do have a course about that, so I'm going to be telling you a little bit more. What it's really about is writing good content and giving some people something that they can share, and that's not done by just throwing a dart. You really need to know who you're serving there. 1 million solo business. Yeah, easy to be a solo business person if you have a large audience. Just watch out for promises like that. Now let's see what tools people are actually using. The AI businesses that are actually using these tools, I talked about it last, but I just want to talk about it again. And this is what businesses are investing in. And businesses make money or else they wouldn't invest it. Eventually, they'll probably be saving more time with AI than they will to generate revenue. So if you want to generate revenue, it's a good idea to save time. We're going to talk more about that later. I don't need to lecture you. Let's get into it. Top 10 tools. ChatGPT, general purpose, 60% of the US AI chatbot market, 80% Fortune 500 penetration. People have bought it for their companies. This is a default thing. If you don't know it, I don't know. You don't have to use it, but it's saving people time. It's not helping people make money. It's not like they're just putting in, how do I make money in this AI? And it's telling them everything they do for the company. It's just cutting a little bit of the fat. Copilot, 13 to 14% market share. That's Microsoft. It's native. It's employed to people who have contracts with Microsoft for their employees. This is what they want. They want you to use this instead of ChatGPT. It's the same Apple versus Microsoft thing, but it's their Copilot. Now, I can imagine this saves a lot of time if you're working on spreadsheets. Again, that's definitely a time saver, not necessarily a cash printer. Google Gemini, 13 to 14% market share. Deep Google Workspace integration. Yeah, that's really nice. People are shifting into using Google Sheets and all this stuff, and it's nice to have a little friend that's going to help me in my spreadsheet to get everything right and make it look nice. The problem is it takes a long time to make these things look nice. Like for clients, when you're doing their analytics, you really need to have something that can do it quickly, but also accurately. So it's helpful that if you have the data in a raw format, you can use Google Gemini within Google Workspace to get that formatted correctly. But the problem with using these ones right now is that, and it'll say this below, the problem with using them is that sometimes AI does too much. And so you just got to keep that in mind. Macquarie's bank deployment absorbed 130,000 productivity hours in 7 months. And that's the way you should think about deploying AI. It's not necessarily to earn money, but it is to save time, man hours. And if you can eliminate an hour with AI, then you're doing good. Claude just passed OpenAI and enterprise spend in May 2026. It's because it integrates with more things. KPMG deployed at 276,000 employees. Smart enterprise money is moving. Now, all of these are going to compete, and I think we'll start to see them shake out a little bit better. But Claude integrates with a lot of things, and that's what's important about that one. GitHub Copilot, the AI coding standard. You used to have to go into a GitHub repository and pull out what someone's already created, and people write code differently. So now people are using this to kind of summarize what type of code writing they're doing. That is probably not applicable to every business. Would you use a GitHub for most businesses? Probably not, unless you're doing some more intense development. Cursor, Claude Code, agentic coding. Uber spent a lot on that. Agentic coding tools. Interesting that Uber is doing it. $3.4 billion. That's interesting there. Notion AI, knowledge management embedded in most modern team docs. That's great for organization. There's some smaller ones that can take that over. Jasper Copy, marketing copy. Okay, let's go through that again. There we are. So that's going to be your best for writing. Copy.ai. Look into that for sure if you're doing any sort of writing. HubSpot AI. Cool. And Zapier. And I went through all these in the last video, but It's important to know what these are doing, and just looking through them, it seems like they're saving time and kind of like breaking through barriers in communication, which is what saves companies money. A lot of people spend money on meetings and a whole bunch of different stuff. And when you get out into the world of entrepreneurship, you realize that time that you're spending paying someone to sit at a desk is very valuable. There is a human element to all this stuff, but if you're going to trim fat, it's probably best that these companies are saving time. So the question isn't, is your company using AI? It's which ones, and where does the money come from it? Now, are you saving your customers time? That's very important. Or are you actually showing them how to make money? Here's where the money actually is. What businesses actually pay for: customer service automation, code generation, document review, internal IT support, sales and marketing. You need to pay marketing if you want to make more money. HubSpot lead scoring is a big one, and Jasper Copy. So Zapier connecting it. I use all these heavily, and these are automation tools that I'm fluent in. Getting your HubSpot correct is a big cost, and if that's helped by AI, that's a big deal. IT support. Harvey AI is for law firms, which you already talked about, saving them money. These are infrastructure builds, and employing AI into that is really good. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. The agent's paradox, which I talked about before. 97% of executives say they've deployed agents, 78% have pilots, 14% reach production. A lot of failures there. Real disasters. There's a bunch of disasters that happen. So none of these are side hustles. These are businesses spending billions on something that is going to really save time. So what's the opportunity for someone who wants to make money after they quit their job on AI, like myself? You need to make sure that the business stuff actually works better for your client. And this is something that's quite interesting. Set up AI automations for small to mid-sized businesses that can't do it themselves. Dentists, law offices, HVAC agencies. This would be, again, if they have a lead flow, you'd just be making sure you can qualify leads a little bit better. That's going to be your automation there. Narrow service, customer service setup, chatbot voice setup. If you can get the chatbot into their business, that's going to be something AI can help with, because it can map out those conversations. Let's see, no code tools. You don't need to write code, understand the problem, and assemble the solution. So pricing for all this stuff, it's a one-time price to build and then recurring to fix, because what's going to happen is if you're creating tools essentially in services that speed up the business, then you're going to need to manage it, right, and update it constantly, and the business doesn't want to do that. If you're paying money for anything, what you should be paying for is results. I'm paying money for something, I want to get it done. I really don't care how it's done, right, unless it's obviously like part of my brand, right, and what we do is it's like a workout class. I need to make sure I know how people are working out, right, but if I'm paying money just to get more business or to streamline things, I need to know if it's faster or if it's earning me more money, right? So that's how that works. So there's ways that you can sell this if you're thinking about selling AI. I think that's a good starter. You just need to pick something that people are going to use, and really what that is a system. If you're selling a system that saves people time, then doesn't matter if it's made with AI or yourself. Likely it's going to be made with AI. You want to get that recurring revenue. Otherwise, it's just a one-off. And think about a website for this, tools, things like that. So to Joy, here's people that have proof. 70 AI agents for clients, 1.25 million in 2 months. That's a proven thing that this person did, but imagine building 70 AI agents and for clients. That'd be pretty difficult. What you would want to do is pick one agent that you know, one business that you know, and hyper target those clients. Maybe even buy something that someone's already built, figure out how to reverse engineer it, and that's going to be your tool. I would go for an agent that handles calls in a chatbot on people's websites. That's pretty smart if I was doing it like that. Headshot Pro, I don't know what that is. Pulsia, Launched in December, 500K a month within 3 months, 0 employees. Everyone sells the outcome, not AI. So that's the thing. No one pays for AI. They pay for what it delivers. I already talked about that. Really, like, diving into some of these tools that have worked and people that are making with AI, it's actually quite interesting. Let me look up Headshot Pro. I think this is a Headshot Creator. So what are we making with AI? Yeah, it's going to be, this is a very simple, scalable business. Take a photo of yourself and get your headshots. That is a super cool concept, which of course it's an AI photo generator there. So that's interesting. Pulsia, let's see what Pulsia is. This one says runs your company while you sleep. It's very vague. Start a company tonight. Start a company from scratch. So yeah, it's interesting. It just pulls you in. Interesting that they made that much money. This is kind of your planning area. A lot of people want to use AI to plan, and the outcome was very clear with that. So it says they have 0 employees and they made 500K in 3 months. I would look that one up, Polsia, if you're trying to kind of create a service with AI. And the thing you got to think about right now is AI is, and I'm going to wrap this video up quickly, but AI is, it's online, right? It's not necessarily in person. Your services are all going to be based on the internet. So what you can innovate with AI on the internet, automatically, it's going to need to be some sort of automation. Website, make your website faster. The headshot thing, it's really tough. Everyone needs a headshot. No one's wants to set a light up. So that's an interesting one. You can make something a little bit different, but you kind of want to get a little component of something that you can increase, right? Versus trying to revolutionize everything. And I think that's what people are going to start doing to make money off AI. I've got a lot of tools that I'm testing out. But the truth is, it has to work, right? Money requires a skill plus work in order to not be a waste. So whatever you make has to work, has to be proven. You have to test it. The gurus are telling people that they can do the same. I would say that they're lying. They point at a saturated pool. The money is, yeah, they always point at a saturated pool. The money is in the gap between what hasn't been made yet and where you can find people that are interested. You're not going to be able to sell the headshot thing again, right? I would say that you can make a lot of money off of AI if you really think about it in a business framework and think about AI as a tool that's going to save money or time. And yeah, you can save people money by creating, researching a planner to where they don't have to pay too much on groceries. That's something that I've created. So just think about it like the easy things are saturated. Hard is where the money is, but at the end of the day, it's not even about hard. It's about simplicity. And it would be very interested if you could plug this script into a video, which actually I think are into ChatGPT or something, which I think I will do now, and ask it what it thinks about the best way to make money in AI right now based off of this video. I will be interested to see what that says. I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. My next video will be about that. I was not overly impressed with the research that my AI did for this, but then again, that's just how it works. That's my honest feedback. I'd be interested to hear if people have really good ideas and also are using them, not an idea that someone else is going to steal and make better, because we don't want to steal people's ideas here. Reach out to me if you have ideas and you've been thinking about it. If you have an interesting fact about what's working or a prediction, instead of predicting the market, you might want to predict what people are going to do with AI next, what one person's going to do, who's going to be the next Steve Jobs of AI. That's a good thing to focus your thoughts on. So we're going to sign this one off here. Thanks for watching.